Previously on Star Trek Resurgence.
Welcome, Commander Rydek.
Wait, you're Jara Rydek?
Six months ago, she was nearly cracked in half, venting plasma, fighting for her life.
I thought the thing was totally fried. Hold on. Now there's an old face I didn't expect to see again.
You'll have to forgive me, I don't know much about Kobleods. But my understanding is you need a steady supply of duridium to keep your cell structure stabilized, or bad things start to happen.
I don't want you to pull any punches. Certainly not on my account. Starfleet has tasked us with what they're calling a mission of the highest priority.
We've got a massive energy wave inbound, on screen.
The polarity of the hull, which theoretically will repel the docking clamps.
Blow the bolts on the docking clamp.
The captain doesn't know the whole story.
Repair crew, this is Acting Captain Jara Rydek. Be advised, we are going to reverse hull polarity to free us from the remaining docking clamp. Respectfully, Captain, I made the right choice given the information I had.
You disobeyed my orders. My name's already tarnished around the fleet.
Captain, I told you I'd be honest. So here it is. If you're worried about your credibility, put your ego aside and trust your crew.
Reaching the rendezvous point outside Atari space.
Shuttle to Resolute. Shuttle to Resolute. Debris field. Lost maneuvering.
I said I would get one. I have one. And it looks awesome.
Diaz, you good to run the tractor emitter?
Yes, sir.
You sure?
Yeah, I'll be fine.
I'm sure.
Come on, Diaz.
Okie dokie, what to do?
First thing, lock onto the shuttle and stabilize the rotation.
Yeah, that can be done. Right. Stabilized.
We're pulling in debris.
We got debris in the way. Lovely. There we go. Wait, what's up? What's happening? Shit. Oh god.
That's gonna take out the shuttle.
Diaz, the bridge. There's a large piece of debris headed for the shuttle. The tractor beam can't handle it.
Can our shields take it?
I believe so.
Commander Rydek, plot an intercept course.
On it.
Alright. Course intercepted.
Here we go. Maneuvering thrusters bearing 53 Mark 17, 200 meters on an intercept course.
Maneuvering.
Yes! Lovely!
Whoa.
We knocked it out of the
On
park!
the bridge.
Why am I talking like that? I don't know. We got you, Ensign. Yes, we got it. Oh, my back.
We got the shuttlecraft on board.
Good job.
We're on our way down to meet them.
Brilliant.
Terra firma, so to speak.
Ambassador Spock.
Oh my god! Spock!
The captain will be right down to meet you, sir.
In that case, I will wait for him here.
Are you okay? Welcome aboard. Sorry for the rough landing. Welcome aboard.
Let me be the first to say, welcome to the Resolute, Ambassador.
Thank you, Petty Officer...
Carter? Carter Diaz. Sir.
I am pleased to meet you, Petty Officer Carter Diaz.
Petty officer?
I have you to thank for my safe arrival.
What's a petty officer?
Your assistance arrived not a moment too soon, if I may say so.
You're very welcome, sir. I'm glad we could get you here in one piece.
Indeed.
Oh my god, yes. 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 An awesome first impression with Ambassador Spock. Yes, that's what we want.
The storm has been pretty intense.
There was an element that was most unusual. Before you came to our aid, our maneuvering thrusters and impulse engines were rendered inoperable. So we attempted a short traversal at warp speed, only to find that we could not achieve warp at all, even though our diagnostics computer showed no faults or anomalies.
Could have been interference from the
What do you
board.
make of that? When all indications say that warp speed is possible, but in practice, we find it is not.
I mean, it could have been a storm because we had problems.
Well, this storm is one of the strangest phenomena we've ever encountered. It's disrupted other systems. Who knows what it might do to a warp drive?
Yes, it would seem further investigation is called for.
Take readings, run some additional diagnostic checks, and we'll get to the bottom of this.
Quite logical, Petty Officer Diaz. Thank you.
Ambassador
You're welcome,
Spock.
sir.
Excuse me.
I'm honored to have you aboard. I'd like to get right to it. We're already behind.
You did well, Petty Officer Diaz. You did well. Well done. I'm so excited. This is awesome. I'm loving it. I'm so excited. Like, just seeing Ambassador Spock, I am so much more hyped now. Oh my god.
Ambassador Spock, my senior staff.
Oh my god.
It's not every day that a captain gets to welcome a Starfleet legend aboard.
You flatter me, Captain Solano. But legend implies the past tense, whereas I am very much focused on our present circumstances.
I didn't mean to suggest you were stuck in the past. You're right, Ambassador.
But you are a legend. Let's focus on the future.
Diplomatic choice of words.
Let's focus on the
But
future.
we're all curious about the future, Ambassador. Specifically, what exactly are we getting involved in here?
We got the basics from Starfleet. Two formerly peaceful neighbors are now on the brink of war.
Indeed, and the tension between them grows fiercer by the hour.
It's like, if the character was an ensign, I would have totally said, you are a legend, though. You know, but because,
are the more advanced species.
you know,
They made first
because she's
contact
the
with the
commander,
Hotari over a century
we've got to
ago.
be a bit more professional.
This is
with it.
Tau, the Hotari moon. It is rich in dilithium, and for decades, the Hotari and the Illidians have shared a mining operation there. The Illidians provide the technological resources, while the Hotari have served as the labor force. The stability of that arrangement was the source of their peace, until recently. The Hotari have suddenly and forcefully seized control of the mining operations and expelled the Illydians from their system. That is the official story, as told by the Hotari when they requested Federation mediation.
Interesting.
But the details remain scant. Communications between all parties have been limited by the ionic interference.
Have the Aldeans retaliated?
Have the Illydians retaliated against the Hotari? Or taken any action against them?
Surprisingly, they have not yet responded in kind. They were open to a Federation presence, but it is unlikely the relatively primitive Hotari forces would stand a chance against the Illydian fleet in open war. Left unchecked, this conflict will result in more bloodshed.
Well, we need to get there and stop it. We need to stop
the
it.
dilithium trade hangs in the balance.
Clearly, the Hotari have been exploited in this relationship.
Maybe we can persuade them peace is the more profitable alternative for everyone. They both profited from the mines. And for the
They don't
Hotari,
want peace.
something is better than nothing. Peace is our objective, after all.
That is correct.
They'd still be exploited.
We can call it profitable or mutually beneficial, but at the end of the day, the Hotari are still being exploited for their own resources.
True peace is not merely the absence of war. And as such, this conflict will surely come again.
Neither the Illydians or the Hotari are members of the Federation, so we can't
I don't
make
think
them do
I could
anything.
ever agree
There
with Captain
is an
Solano.
additional complicating factor I should mention.
I don't think I could ever agree with him on certain
In
things.
the past, the Federation has relied on the Illydians as a source of dilithium.
That certainly changes things.
Federation sources its dilithium from a lot of places.
Yeah, and this is one of them.
We could use that as leverage with the Illydians. They'll want the Federation to continue buying from them.
There might be something to that.
Making more money.
Putting that on the table could make the Hotari more hostile.
Given the Federation's involvement in the Illydium dilithium trade, Captain Solano and I must make every effort to appear neutral in these negotiations.
Two brilliant
What
first
worries
impressions.
me is if this whole thing unravels and we're at the mercy of the storm at less than full strength.
We can't let it come to that.
Considering what the ion storm has done to our ship, and the Ambassador's shuttle, we have to assume the Illydian fleet has had problems with it as well. This recent surge in the energy disturbance temporarily levels the playing field.
Commander Westbrook is correct. The energy anomalies around the Hotari systems have been noted in the past. But they have never been observed on the orders of magnitude we have seen in recent weeks.
If it's keeping the two sides talking instead of shooting at each other, that actually helps us negotiate a peace.
And we'll take advantage of that as long as it works in our favor.
Hopefully it does.
And when it doesn't?
All the more reason to learn as much about it as we can while we are here. We do not want to be caught unprepared, should the energy anomaly continue to fluctuate. So I trust we understand our circumstances.
We're operating on a strict timetable here, and we're going to be leaving for the negotiations shortly. Commander Westbrook, I want you to leverage our systems to investigate the anomaly from here while we're gone.
Aye, Captain.
Thank you all.
Dismissed.
I want to speak to both of you privately.
Oh. This good? I hope so.
Ambassador Spock, I'd like to make a formal introduction. My first officer, Commander Jara Rydek.
Commander.
Ambassador.
As you are aware, there are limits to what Captain Solano and I can do in our official capacity as representatives of the Federation. But someone in an unofficial capacity, your first officer, for example, would not be bound by those restrictions. Commander Rydek could ingratiate herself to certain parties behind the scenes.
I'm liking where this is going. Why are you glitching out?
That could lead
You
to a
should not be
resolution.
glitching out.
She certainly
Stop it.
goes her own way. Maybe that helps in
I'm
this
not a
case.
diplomat. I'd be honored.
Would be
Whatever it
unconventional,
takes.
But I'm not opposed to it.
Don't
I'm
glitch out.
honored to be included in the negotiation process.
You're not just included, you are instrumental.
Well, I hope
Instrumental.
Commander Rydick will have
Oh,
more
lovely.
luck finding out what really happened than we will through official diplomatic channels.
The fate of the negotiations, the interests of the Federation, and the prospect for peace may very well depend on it.
Most highly indeed. This better go well. Because it won't be good if it doesn't. Navigational complexities. Why are you glitching?
Mr. Diaz, I understand you have already discussed the warp drive failure with Ambassador Spock.
I have.
I don't get
It
why
is imperative
it's
that the
glitching.
Ambassador's shuttle be flight ready. I need you both to ascertain the root cause of the system failures he encountered.
I'm surprised, Commander. I thought you would have wanted to work on Ambassador Spock's shuttle yourself.
I respect the Ambassador and his many accomplishments, but I do not derive any satisfaction from interacting with his shuttle as if it were somehow transubstantiated through its association with him. Especially when I have the entirety of this starship to concern myself with.
Do you enjoy anything?
I am not the chief engineer of this shuttlecraft.
Commander Chovak, is there anything you do enjoy?
I take pleasure in the satisfaction of a job well done. I suggest you try it sometime.
Wow.
Make note of any abnormalities in your report. Carry on.
Was that a joke?
You're a jar of laughs,
No.
aren't you?
Couldn't have been. It seems like he's warming up to us.
Yeah.
Even Chovak has to look at that face and know you've earned some real respect. And I have to admit that I owe you one. You were right to make me go first.
You
I
don't
don't know
owe
what I
me.
was
I
thinking.
paid a high price. Don't forget it.
You did the smart thing.
You've pulled me out of trouble how many times? Call it even.
Okay. At the very least, maybe I can track down that bottle of Saurian brandy you're still on the hook for.
Saurian
First,
brandy?
we have work to do.
Ready to go?
All set. Let's run the diagnostic.
Aye. Begin diagnostics.
Oh. I know about your talk with Miranda.
You do?
She sent me a Priority 1 dispatch right after your conversation.
Really?
I'm happy for you. Both of you.
Thanks.
But I'm only going to tell you this once.
Be careful.
Don't screw this up. Because I would be very unhappy if you tried this out and then, I don't know, 6 weeks or 6 days later, I have to start splitting holidays between the two of you.
Oh, God.
All because things went south and you're not on speaking terms. That just isn't gonna work for me.
Have some faith.
You really don't believe in me, huh?
It's not you. Or her.
What is
Just
it then?
running the numbers, and things don't work out more often than they do.
That's true.
I like my friends, and I like our group. I don't want to lose that. Is that thing done?
Yeah, it's wrapping up.
It's finished.
Let's see. The relays along the primary EPS are blown. The backup relays are all intact.
An EPS overload from the warp drive could cause that. But how did the shuttle end up dead in the water?
Huh. Well, maybe the ship's data recorder can tell us something.
Data recorder. What's it say?
Here.
They
Ah.
were only about 8 minutes from their plotted warp point. No faults, just those warnings. What are they?
Wait, so if they're not faults, then clearly it's infiltration.
The warp field became inverted suddenly.
I've seen this happen when the center warp coil cracks.
A cracked warp coil throws a fault code.
Still, we should take a look.
There was a complete warp cascade failure.
Wow. They're lucky the shuttle didn't turn inside out.
Makes me think the computer panicked on the warp field equation. Subspace variance out of tolerance. What does that mean?
It means the main navigation array lost sight of space somehow.
Will the array going offline cause that?
Yes, but it should have also thrown a fault code.
I think it's something to do with
Any one of these failures
outside
should have thrown a
interference.
fault.
If it was caused by a system failure.
None of this caused the relays to blow. Roll forward to when that happened.
Yes, ma'am.
So about
So here, they take a moment to get their bearings and they attempt to re-engage the warp drive.
There. That's the relays blowing.
And look, there's another warp system alert.
They're all the same. Subspace variants out of tolerance, or warp inversions. Finally, there's a complete warp cascade failure.
Then it's one of two things. Either a warp coil is cracked or the navigation array is offline.
That makes sense.
Better have a look.
Divide and conquer. You want to check the warp coils or the navigation array? I'll check the other. Let's not overcomplicate this. One of these systems is likely broken.
I shall check the navigation array.
I'll check the navigation array.
I bet it would have been so much cooler checking the freaking warp coils. Damn it. Right, so square to holster your tricorder. Okay, so tricorder. Here we go. I mean out of range? I'm not even out of range. Okay, what we got here? During a deep scan, use L1 and R1 to switch between different scan modes and search for glowing objects. And then hold, okay, to change the color. Okay, right. Where? It's saying to hold L2, but when I hold L2 it doesn't do anything. The shuttle subspace sensors are vulnerable to backscatter interference from other internal systems. Okay. Scan complete. Wait, no, scan can't be complete. Gradient transitions between normal space and subspace while the vessel is traveling at warp speeds. No physical damage detected. Seriously? So is that it? I think that's it. Yeah. That's it.
Navigation array checks out, so it must be a coil.
Except it's not. Checked and double-checked.
Well, the readings don't
lie. So what
lie.
could it be then?
Here comes the security detail for the way team.
It has to be something. And I'm thinking outside interference. It's gotta be the Borg, Klingons.
Hey.
Romulans.
I'm not here.
We're escorting the negotiating team to the surface as soon as they come down from the bridge. I don't want to interrupt some important work. I was just hoping to see you before I go. The captain
Or it could
and the
also
others
be
will
those
here any minute
dumbass
now.
numbskulls.
Should be an interesting ride.
Always
down to
time
the
for
surface.
you. You have the important job.
Come on, I'm never too busy to make time for you.
That's not true.
No. But I am glad you came by.
Now that's more accurate.
I gotta be precise with you, huh?
Hey, Maris. Aren't these those button pushers you're always hanging out with?
And you're the phaser jockeys we always beat in Parisi squares, right?
All aboard for Hotari.
That another one of the captain's
The
railroad
Atari
things?
system. Cool.
Gotta be.
Let's go.
I just usually zone out by the time he gets to the whole steam engines were the warp drives of their day part. Catch y'all later.
See you later.
You don't want to miss your train.
I do have to go.
Be careful.
Not gonna lie, I'd rather not leave right now.
Now that says, be safe.
Yeah, it was.
Come back
Save
quick.
some of that for
All
when I
down.
get
At once.
Got a deal.
Yowza.
Be seeing you.
Hey, lower deck stallions.
Etzelarda Diaz. If you could float back down to reality, we still have a ways to go. All right, where were we?
So, the warp coils in the navigation array are fine, but the nav computer doesn't seem to think so.
I'm out of ideas short of field stripping the shuttle from bow to stern.
You wanna take this out of the shuttle and throw it on the bench?
Oh, real
Honestly,
hands-on maintenance.
I think it's through outside
Okay,
interference.
the nav computer is patched into the ship.
The ship's computer can double-check our work. If the shuttle's nav computer is putting out false data, we'll know it.
Let's run through the shuttle's logs again.
Running now.
Again, okay. Right.
Same. Warp field inversion and a cascade failure. However, the Resolute computer doesn't show the same subspace variance.
We're in the same conditions that the shuttle was in when it failed. Why wouldn't the ship's computer get a matching result?
Because it wasn't the
What
same.
if the subspace variance was a momentary occurrence?
That's a possibility, and it would explain why the simulation under our current sensor readings failed to reproduce the issue.
But a subspace anomaly strong enough to cause a warp field collapse would leave graviton ripples for days.
Let's run with the momentary subspace variance theory for now. Roll forward to the shuttle's attempt to re-engage the warp drive. We need the conditions of space around the shuttle at the moment of warp failure.
Resuming simulation.
Error in warp field calculation. Cochrane formula variables are out of range.
That right there. Take the shuttle sensor data from that moment.
Computer, why did the warp field calculation fail?
Warp field pressure returned non-orthogonal. Results are undefined.
That doesn't help.
Wait, what if we use a different ship?
Put the Resolute into the simulation instead of the shuttle.
Yeah, it should warp just fine.
Something might happen.
Unless... Computer, run the simulation with the Resolute.
Resolute simulated.
Computer, give me manual control on the warp power.
Static field intensity, warp 1.1. 1.2. 3. Warp pressure is destabilizing.
Right.
Error in warp field calculation. The warp drive has experienced a system-wide cascade failure. Warp field collapsed. Subspace variance is out of tolerance. Cochrane formula results are undefined.
Bingo.
What-o?
The same moment when the shuttle failed to warp, so did the ship. Whatever happened to the shuttle just happened to us. The Resolute will not sustain warp.
We can't leave Hotari space.
Lovely. I mean, we can. We just can't do it very, very fast. It'll take us at least a good 10 years to get out of Atari space.
Ambassador Spock, Captain Solano, welcome to Hotari. We are honored you have come. My name is Tyler Saltaris, Minister of Diplomatic Affairs.
The honor is ours, and this is Commander Jara Rydick, First Officer aboard the USS Resolute. You'll find she has a keen mind, and unique insight into the dynamics between the Hotari and the Illydians.
We are honored to be here, as representatives of the Federation.
I'm so glad.
These must be the representatives of the mighty Federation. the reigning authority in the galaxy.
We have a douchebag alert.
Whether that's true or not remains to be seen. But, either way, we're grateful you've made the time to come to our little corner of the universe.
And you are?
This is Galvin, and this is Citron, the heroes of the revolt in the mines.
Oh, hello, you rocky elf. What in the holy blue alien is that?
Let's hope this is the last time we ever have to come here.
If you'll excuse me.
Bloody hell, you both look ugly as hell. You're like E.T. had sex with Paul.
Did you hear the arrogance from that guy? I don't know what we're walking into here.
He seems full of himself.
That guy was...
Don't underestimate him.
That may be true. But let's keep an open mind going into the negotiations. Hopefully he's just one voice amongst many.
Then let's hope he's the outlier.
The Hotari have invited us as their guests, so we must show them the proper respect.
Aye. Wow, those pillars are so untextured. Okay, why do I feel like something's gonna go crashing through that wall? And be like, yay, I'm the Prime Minister now. Mainly that's because it was from Lower Decks. Oh, Lower Decks Season 5, the latest one, near the ending. Oh, beautiful. Show difference, show strength. We gotta be respectful. Deference.
Ambassador Spock, welcome to Hotari Prime.
Hotari
The honor
Prime?
is mine, Your Majesty.
Are there multiple Hotari
That the Federation
planets?
would send one of their most respected representatives is not only an honor to the Hotari people and their queen, but a recognition of our stature and importance.
Let's get on with it, shall we? With all due respect to the Federation and their ambassador, they have no authority here. We are not members of their alliance. We are not subject to their rule, nor yours. We demand the immediate return of all mining operations to Elydian control, as it has been for centuries and will be for centuries more. That has always been our understanding.
That understanding has changed.
Then you invite war.
And if you cannot remain silent, you will be silenced.
Oh.
But his point is well taken.
Oh, I'm interested.
What is the Federation's interest in this matter? Perhaps you would have us trade one oppressor for another?
The Federation remains neutral. Our only interest is the peaceful resolution of this conflict. We are here at your request, Your Majesty.
For now.
I'm trying to keep an open mind here, but it's not easy. I thought they wanted us here.
Was there something you wanted to say, Captain?
Oh, no. My apologies.
And what about the Kobliad?
Me?
She's not part. She can speak for herself, can't she?
Yeah. Yeah,
Then
okay,
let her.
yeah. Shit. Okay, shit. I wasn't really paying attention to your entire conversation, so this is going to be quite difficult. So it's the Aldean mines that we want, ain't it? Oh my god.
Now then, what is your name?
Commander Jara Rydek, Your Majesty.
Being a Kobliad, you would know better than anyone. Your people suffered brutal treatment at the hands of the Cardassians. Their injustice towards the Kobliad is as unimaginable as it is unforgivable.
Okay, that's not fair.
Not unlike how we have been treated by the Elydians.
No, that's not
As
fair.
much as they'd have you believe they are the victims here, remember it was the Hotari who attacked us. Hundreds of innocent Illyrians were slaughtered without mercy in those mines.
That is wrong
The blood
to use
is on
guilt
their
tripping.
hands, not ours.
Quiet!
Why would you guilt trip me, Your Majesty? No. That is not allowed.
Kobliad suffered. You finally had the chance to right that wrong. To get out from under their control. Would you take it? Or would you negotiate a peace?
I would. I would seek peace.
There is no remedy for what the Kobliad suffered. And I fear who we might have become in pursuit of it. There is no justice if the oppressed become the oppressor. So I would willingly accept a peaceful resolution if it were offered. That is the real opportunity.
Aye, it is.
Perhaps, Commander Rydek. Perhaps. Unfortunately, that was not the case, was it?
No, it was not.
Peace is often elusive to those who need it most.
I guess.
The Federation is the most powerful, most advanced alliance in the galaxy.
Yeah.
It's widely known we have an abundance of dilithium in our mines. And it's in your interest to secure a steady supply.
Your Majesty, if I may.
Ambassador Spock would have us believe you're here as a neutral party in the interest of peace. So why are you really here? I want the truth.
We only want peace.
Not your Federation rhetoric.
It's possible the Federation has an interest in both peace and securing a steady source of dilithium. One does not preclude or prevent the other. But that's just my personal opinion.
Given the Federation has done business with the Illyrians for decades, I would agree. It's entirely possible, if not highly likely.
What they haven't said, but cannot deny, is a simple truth.
Okay.
The dilithium
Neutral.
trade would not and will no
it's not
longer
bad,
exist
that.
without
Neutral, it's not bad.
Illyrian involvement. We created it for the benefit of everyone, especially the Hotari. We've given them warp technology. We've let them share in the profits. We've made their lives infinitely better than before dilithium was discovered. All of that goes away if the Federation turns a blind eye to their treachery.
That is enough of your lies!
Uh-oh.
The Hotari are quite capable of running the mines. We've done so for centuries. So tell me, who deserves control of the dilithium trade and the mines on Tau? Who should the Federation recognize?
Both of you.
The Hotari or the Illyrians?
Both of you. We can't turn a blind eye to any of you. Fuck!
Can only be one or the other.
No!
Both.
If there can only be one, then it would be in the best interest of all involved if the Illyrians resumed operation of the mines.
And that is why we should not trust our fate to the Federation.
She speaks sense. You do well to listen to her.
And you do well to hold your tongue.
We will take back our minds by any means necessary.
And you will see more blood spilled.
I am more than willing to address your concerns, Your Majesty. Yours as well, Representative. But I suggest we could have a more productive conversation with a smaller group. Perhaps only the most essential representatives.
That conversation will take freaking, I don't know, 5 years.
I would agree, Ambassador Spock.
So am I dismissed?
I think this is best left to those of us with more experience in diplomatic matters.
You're only saying that just because they didn't choose you, you whiny bitch.
Spock and I will cover everything on the diplomatic front. You make nice with the locals and see if you can get some answers. We need to find out why the Hotari are so willing to risk war. What happened in those mines?
Alright. Let's speak with members of each faction. Ooh, I can have a sit down. Appreciate water.
Soothing.
Yeah. Not too bad quality, that water. I mean, like, the flow of the water looks a bit bleh, but, you know. Hi, Sidron.
Commander, after hearing so much about the Federation's sense of fairness and justice, I was surprised that you sided with the Illyrians.
I'm sorry.
In all honesty, I expected more, especially from someone like you.
Even though the Illyrians should retain control, the Hotari have an equal claim and should share in the profits as partners.
I'm afraid it's too late for that.
Don't worry, I'll say the
I
same
assume
thing.
you were there the day the mines were seized from the Illyrians.
Not seized, reclaimed, and restored to their rightful owners. Yes, I was there. We had to be decisive, before the Illyrians could even realize their worst nightmares upon them.
Were the Hotari miners armed during the revolt? I'm just trying to understand how it happened.
If by that you mean armed with centuries of abuse and exploitation at the hands of the Illyrians, then yes.
Which doesn't really answer my question.
We had them vastly overwhelmed from the start. They respect one thing above all else, and that is force. The greater the force, the more certain the outcome. Any talk of making peace is just that, and worth little without the strength to secure it. Which makes me wonder about your ship, the Resolute. Undoubtedly the Federation's finest warship. Ready to contend with anything the Illyrians might have in store. Or is that not true? Maybe I've misjudged it.
It's a science vessel.
It wasn't designed as a warship. More for scientific research and exploration.
But the Federation must have ships designed for war.
Oh, yeah.
Technically, they're Starfleet ships representing the Federation. But yes.
I see.
Sidron.
A pleasure meeting you, Commander. I'm sure we'll cross paths again.
I think so too. I want to say I hope so, but I don't. Tillas.
Commander Rydek, I have to admit, I was surprised when you said the Illyrians should control the dilithium trade. I was under the assumption the Federation was neutral, but maybe I was wrong.
We are completely neutral.
I can assure you, we aren't on anyone's side. We are and will remain completely neutral. You have my word.
I hope that's true, for all of our sakes. I saw you speaking with Sidron, our national hero. I'm curious, what did he say?
He seems to be of the opinion that negotiating for peace is a waste of time.
Because force is the only blunt instrument he understands. He's a miner, not a diplomat. For the first time in our history, the Hotari have the upper hand. We see ourselves as strong instead of downtrodden. New voices have risen up. Old voices shouted down. Galvin and Sidron have become national heroes. Now they have the Queen's ear. Better or worse, depending on your perspective.
I get the sense you don't exactly trust them.
I don't trust their instincts, which are leading us to war.
Meaning?
My fear
Well,
has been that the
I know what it
Illyrians will
means.
launch an attack and crush us. You've seen their starship, no doubt. They could have retaken the mines whenever they wanted to, but it never happened. And as strange as this may sound, I'd almost say they're afraid. I just don't know what they're afraid of. It's still the same bluster and bravado you would expect from them. But it has no
Galvan.
teeth. Like they're afraid of what might happen.
Do you think it has something to do with the ion storm? Right now, it's stronger than ever, isn't it?
Yeah, it's entirely possible. I'm not a scientist, but I do know the storm has knocked out all kinds of systems. So maybe the Lydians weren't willing to risk their ships, given all the interference.
Probably. That is a possibility. Right. Well...
Since the day of the revolt, Galvan has seized control of the mines and restricted all access. No one's allowed without his personal authorization. And they've taken over a section of the palace with just as much secrecy and security. I'm told it could be something they brought back from the mines.
Something?
I've made inquiries, but everyone pretends it doesn't exist. I strongly suspect they're hiding something.
Why would they do that?
I don't know. But that's what concerns me. Whatever they're hiding, it can't be good.
How can
Doesn't sound good. I believe she's
better
wanted.
See what's happening.
Do you think you can find out what they're hiding? I need to see proof of something before I can make my case to the Federation.
I can try, but even if I found it, I might not know what to make of it.
It's okay. Something is better
You can
than
use
nothing.
it to capture whatever you find, and then send it to me.
Thank you.
I bet it's
I will let you know what I find.
I bet it's Holtari foul
I look
play.
forward to our meeting again.
I feel like it's Holtari foul play. Most definitely.
Sorry, I don't mean to bother you, but I couldn't help but notice you were speaking with the Hotari this whole time. I figured it might be useful if I offered another perspective.
Of course.
I have to say, I fully expected you to side with the Hotari. But
Really?
obviously the Federation wants a steady supply of dilithium. Something only we can offer. Without a Lydian involvement, there is no dilithium trade. Left to the Hotari, it would be nothing short of a disaster.
Restoring the status quo and returning the mines to Lydian control offers a stability that can be mutually beneficial.
Well said. In that case, everyone wins, and there's no need for bloodshed. Major Salit Arminta, Special Attaché, Lydian Armed Forces. Pleasure to meet you, Commander.
And you?
I have my issues with the Hotari, but I have to give them some credit. They know how to seize an opportunity. Inciting an uprising the same day as a massive, once-in-a-lifetime ion storm.
Our assumption was that this storm was just an anomaly.
Yes, a very convenient anomaly. At least that was what we were told.
By who?
Of course, I wasn't there. But who am I to say otherwise?
You sound skeptical.
Well, the official story is that it was the storm that enabled the revolt. How else do a bunch of unarmed, unorganized miners seize control of an entire moon, much less thousands of mines? But I've talked to people who were there. They tell a different story. They say they're lucky to have escaped with their lives. That it was more than just the storm. That somehow the miners were able to harness the energy from the storm. I know it sounds crazy. I'm not even sure I believe it myself. But that's what they said.
You said the Hotari were primitive.
Well, they are.
Except for the part about weaponizing ion storms.
That's not primitive. That's advanced.
If you'll excuse me, Commander Ryder.
Right, where is Captain Solano? Hey, inspect banner. Cool. It's a very cool banner
They seem
you
proud
have
of their
here.
culture. Pride can lead to rash action.
Yeah. That is a very, very good point there, Commander. Very good point.
Oh, my back. Ugh. Well, that was a disaster.
What happened?
The Hotari refused to concede anything, so the Elydians stormed out.
Really?
The Hotari did not invite us here as peacekeepers.
Stubborn.
I hope your efforts were more fruitful than ours.
Well, in a way.
Gravitational harmonics failing to resolve. Warp bubble stability degrading. Increase output to maximum.
Increasing warp output to maximum.
It's happening again.
It is evident that presently, the Resolute cannot achieve warp propulsion.
Since our diagnostics rule out any problems with our warp systems or anything about the ship, the problem appears to be the fabric of space itself.
Space itself? You're saying something about this region of space prevents warp travel?
Prevents it, or can't sustain it.
However improbable, that appears to be the case.
We need to know more.
Otherwise, it'll be an extended stay in the Hotari system.
Well, couldn't we slowboat it out of here at impulse speed?
It may come to that, but we don't know how far this warp dead zone extends. Captain Solano is on his way back from the negotiations, and I want to have some answers for him when he gets here.
Indeed. Given the facts at hand, we may be able to deploy subspace probes around the ship to construct a clearer picture of the phenomenon.
Around the ship. I'll prep a shuttle.
I'm a bit skeptical at the moment. Well, not skeptical, speculating that I feel like it's something that the Hotari have done in the subspace.
I'm setting up a waypoint at a distance roughly corresponding to the edge of our warp field. When we get there, I'll deploy the first probe.
Rightio, so fly the shuttle to your objective to complete a mission. Use right trigger to fly forward, back trigger, left trigger to fly backward, right to turn, left to what? Strafe. Okay. Yow. Wow. Oh, this is cool. This is cool.
Commander Westbrook, the Resolute systems are calibrated to receive the probe's readings. We are standing by to reproduce the warp field collapse.
This is so cool. I'm
Thank you, Mr.
flying.
Chovak. We'll be in position shortly.
And Mr. Diaz, do take care in piloting the shuttlecraft. Now is not the time to indulge in the human penchant for joyriding.
Chovak probably isn't such a fun guy to work for, huh?
Nah, Lieutenant Commander Chovak's not so bad. You know, once you get used to him. And, I've learned a lot working under him.
I have a feeling I'm going to have to work harder to be a political animal like you. This new first officer coming aboard.
Well, thank you. Damn, this is a big asteroid. Okay, we're coming up to the waypoint now.
This is far enough. Transporting the first probe into position.
Meow. Those things are freaking heavy.
Westbrook here. The first probe is deployed.
Understood. We are reading it. We are about to replay the simulation.
Problem? I just can't get a handle on her. Commander Rydek. She rejected my plan to use a deflector pulse against the storm surge. But on the other, she did listen to my advice and use the whole polarity trick to get you through that excursion alive. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the new XO. I'm sure she's a fine officer, even if we don't see eye to eye. But she didn't go through what the rest of us did. You know that. And it's hard to figure out why she'd be the one Solano chose instead of, well, one of us.
I've heard some good things. You should at least give her a chance.
Yeah.
I'll take that under advisement.
Test is running. Warp field collapse in 3, 2, 1, mark.
Whoa!
Whoa. All right, that is definitely a problem with the fabric of space. We need to get another probe out there.
That was like...
With
I don't
2
know,
points
like...
of data, the Resolute and the probe,
the mirror
we managed to get an
dimension
interference
breaking
pattern.
through.
I'm setting a waypoint to a particularly strong area of interference. We'll deploy the second probe there. Listen, I'm gonna give you a piece of advice I wish someone had given me. Make sure you're never just one thing. Don't get so focused on what's in front of your face that you lose sight of the big picture.
Alright.
Before Rydek showed up, the captain pulled me into his ready room and told me he didn't think I had the people skills to be first officer. What a load of crap.
Sounds like politics.
If he'd said that about Chovak, sure.
I appreciate the advice, Commander. I'll make sure I keep my options open.
I don't need to tell you how to operate. You're already well on your way.
I am.
You're a capable engineer. You're good in the field. Keep up
Thank
the
you.
good work. Who knows? A solid jack of all departments like you could be Commander-in-Chief of Starfleet one day. Hell, Admiral Jellicoe started as a shuttle pilot. And there are places to go in the enlisted ranks, too.
I don't know. I'm pretty happy where I am.
You must be a glutton for punishment. Lieutenant Commander Chovak has been known to take decades to warm up to people.
Well, that's, you know, Vulcans for you. They're very strict. At the second waypoint.
This is close enough. Stop the engines. Deploying the probe. Westbrook to Commander Chovak. We're ready for another sampling of data.
Here we go.
Running the simulation again. Warp field collapse in 3, 2, 1. Mark.
There it is again.
I saw it. It seems to be directional.
Well, what about the scans? Anything?
Here's the readings in relation to our local space. We've got the Resolute, Otari Prime, and the probes.
All this interference is overloading the sensor buffers. We're gonna have to triangulate the sensors manually.
I'm okay with doing that. Right, so what do I need to do? Locate the interference peaks. That's one.
We got something.
Ah.
These markers indicate peaks in the gravimetric interference patterns.
Let's see if I can find some more.
Ah, it's in a...
Hold up.
Oh.
This is coming from the moon.
A beam that blocks warp travel.
Aimed right at us.
Someone is doing this intentionally.
The Otari!
I don't know how
I freaking knew it!
This is like nothing I've ever seen.
Why would they be doing this? We came here to help these people. And now we're getting hit by some warp-killing weapon?
It's the Otari.
Look here.
It's the Otari.
Current readings of the ion storm.
These concentrations, they line up with the interference pattern. The storm and this beam, they're coming from the same place.
Carter, whatever petty local conflict brought us here, it's just a small part of something much bigger.
It's the Otari. I knew it. I knew it. The Otari, they're the ones.
We don't have an explanation
oh my God.
they're doing this. One thing is clear. This is no fluke.
Thank you, Mr. Westbrook. I want a full briefing when I'm back on board. Solano out.
A targeted weapon that inhibits warp travel. Coming from the moon Tau.
That would explain the difficulties my shuttle encountered. More importantly, the tenor of the Hotari during the negotiations.
And here I thought the Illidians would be the problem. Coming to peace talks in a warship. This wasn't supposed to be so complicated.
For all their posturing, every indication is that the Illidians are afraid of the Hotari. They didn't bring their warship as a threat. They brought it because they're scared.
From everything we witnessed, I would say that is highly likely.
But what are they afraid of?
Tylus, the Hotari representative, said she thought they found something in the mines. Galvin and Sidron brought it back to the palace, but they're keeping it under tight security. She's going to investigate it. I gave her my tricorder. I expect she'll contact us soon.
You found an ally.
Why would Tylus help us? Go behind her people's back? It's a fair question, considering.
She doesn't like the way Galvin and Sidron have been manipulating the situation. And the Queen. Working with us to go around them isn't the same as betraying her people.
That may be true.
She's certainly more likely to help than the other Hotari we've met.
That raises another question. Specifically, what do the other Hotari have to gain in bringing us here, only to make this hostile maneuver against us? There must be some motivation.
To learn more about
us. They changed their minds between when they asked and when we got here.
Given their indifference to the negotiations, and what we now know about this warp-disrupting weapon, it's almost as if they want to start a war. And Sidron was convinced the only thing the Illidians respect is force.
I would say he's right about that. But at least they know when to hold back.
But that does not explain why they would turn their aggressions against us.
Because they're a bunch of douchebags?
I don't think the Illidians know what's really down on that moon either.
Major Armintas said the revolt defied explanation. That the Hotari miners somehow harnessed the energy of the storm.
Harness the energy of the storm?
Doing that is beyond even our capabilities.
So is a weapon that disrupts warp travel.
There have been civilizations and entities, both past and present, far more technologically advanced than the Federation.
The Illidians and Hotari don't fall into that category.
But that is all the more reason to investigate further.
Commander Rydek, sorry to interrupt. We've received an urgent call from Hotari. Queen's advisor, Tylus, has asked to speak with you.
Put her through.
Galvin and Sidron are still with the Queen. I've enlisted help to gain access to the room they have under guard. I don't have much time.
I'm not supposed to leave my post.
It's only for a moment.
It looks like freaking Saints Row animation. That's so cool.
I found something. I'm sending you a scan.
Got it. Tylus, if we needed to gain access to the mines on Tau, is that something you could help us with?
I suppose it wouldn't be easy, but I have to go.
Tylus.
Can we reconnect?
Sorry, Captain. We've lost all contact.
All as well.
We can only hope she escaped without harm.
I guess we better try and get back.
It's hard to tell.
I got her into this mess. We have to help her.
I'm the one who got her into this. If something happens to her, it's my fault.
She's one of the Queen's closest advisors. I'm sure she'll be fine. Assuming the Queen isn't part of this. Let's see the scan of whatever the hell that was.
I think she might be part of it.
Tyler suspects this came from the mines on Tau.
It appears to be of ancient origin, but the markings are unfamiliar.
We can run a full analysis when we get back to the Resolute. If this came from the mines, it might be the key to how they got the upper hand against the Illyrians.
I don't think we
have to
that
go
much
into the
time.
mines.
The Federation would not allow that. We're, after all, sent here to be a neutral party in a peace negotiation. However, we could demonstrate that the Hotari have acted in bad faith, which would enable us to investigate the mines on Tau with full justification.
Yeah, but
of course, we would need conclusive proof before taking action. Otherwise, it could put us in a difficult position.
Whatever this artifact is may be proof enough. At least to satisfy the Federation.
Especially if we can show the Hotari are controlling the warp disruption.
Yeah.
And targeting the Resolute.
We may have a better understanding once we analyze the device. But a mission to the mines, covert or otherwise, is not out of the question. And I will handle the Federation.
Brilliant.
As I was telling Carter, I want all the data I can get on this warp problem. And the negotiating team's shuttle has been recording data all the way back from Hotari. Even better than our probes. So pull the sensor and engine ISOs from the Melville when it sets down.
Will do.
I'll join you and Chovak down in engineering to run another analysis after the briefing.
I didn't like this warp problem when we thought it was some astronomical anomaly. And I like it a hell of a lot less now that we know someone is doing it to us. How does it work? What do we even do about it?
What do you say we pull these chips and find out?
Took some damage on the way. That ionic interference scored the hull plating. Might be some micro welds. Let's try pulling together.
All right.
Okay, let's do it.
2, 1.
Whoa!
It won't budge. Gotta be the storm damage. We need to... Welcome back. Any excitement down on the surface?
Excitement? No. Nothing like that.
Hey, can you hand me the EJ7 interlock? From the toolbox.
I don't know what that is.
Not much use for one on a security detail, huh? Carter?
Yeah, I'll get it.
She okay?
Okay, I'll apply pressure while you decouple the panel.
I feel like there's something wrong with her. Yay!
Here, I'll help.
There we go.
We've got this.
Open up and say ah.
Thanks for the hand. We have to get these isolinear chips down to engineering.
No problem. You really know everything about these ships, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
The tools, the systems. Like a walking Starfleet technical manual.
What can I say? I'm good at what I do.
I can see that.
Come on, start pulling chips.
She sounds robotic. There's something definitely wrong with her. What, just start pulling chips? Just like... Crap. Whoa!
What's this?
Some kind of crystal formation?
It was inside of the...
Whoa.
It's from the art. It's
This
part of the
substance
artifact.
is a quantized spin crystallization of hydrogen, carbon, and lithium. It's emitting tetrametric pulses at an interval of 3.8422 seconds.
Quantized crystallization isn't natural. I mean, it's only theoretical as a means to engineer matter on a subatomic level. What's it doing in there?
Probably shouldn't touch
Wait.
with our hands.
Regulation 364, subsection 9.
What?
Regulation 364, subsection 9 orders that in the case of an unknown foreign substance infiltrating a sealed system, it will be placed in secure confinement before further examination. Retrieve a containment module.
Don't you think we're more equipped to deal with whatever this is?
No. Before anything else, this is a security issue. You don't even know what this is.
Which is why we need to study it.
Once it's contained.
This is another piece of the puzzle we're trying to put together. We should be investigating it.
And you can. In the containment lab. But protocol is protocol. I can't make an exception just for you.
I'm still going to report these crystals to Commander Westbrook when we send the shuttle data.
And I will inform my superiors. I'm taking this just as seriously as you are. But I overheard talk
She
about
sounds
the warp
different.
disruption on the shuttle.
The way she speaks, she
Now these
sounds
crystals?
different. I don't know
Maybe
what it
this
is about
situation
her.
is more than we can handle with just a science vessel. We could trigger a distress call, get Starfleet to send more ships. Or I
Nah,
could send a
don't do
message to
that.
my old CO on the Adirondack. Get some combat-tested vessels. We shouldn't do this alone.
We're at the edge of the quadrant. Help isn't just gonna pop over like we're in Sector 001.
Wouldn't hurt to try.
You talk like you've never had your backs up against a wall before. This is Starfleet. We solve our own problems.
Okay, stand back.
I'm starting to not trust her.
Get this to the containment lab. We'll get it set up for you. I'll let you know when it's safely confined.
Oh, we'll be there.
Last thing you want is to study this down in main engineering and have it explode next to the warp core.
Why is she being such a bitch?
Almost forgot.
Can't have that.
I don't know what to say now.
For a second, I thought she'd gone cold on you.
Same.
Like she might have changed her mind. But I guess this whole situation has her spooked. Maybe she knows more than us? Or it's because this is all happening so fast?
Yeah, there was something a little off about her.
Like that talk about sending a distress call? That was pretty out there. She was probably just thinking out loud. I'm sure she'll come to her senses. This mission has enough complications stacking up.
Not to mention, she sounded
We'll get
robotic
through.
then.
You, me, and Miranda too.
I am going to leave it there. This is fun. Can't wait to play more of it. But yeah, that is episode 2 of Star Trek Resurgence. And the quality of my phone is so much better. I am recording on the 22nd of May. This is a Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra. And I'm loving the quality already. You know. I don't know what I'm doing jazz hands for. Yeah, okay, right. Not important. Bye.